Jam, episode 255.
All right, and what are we talking about today?
All right, so this episode is one of those tough love ones, but it is if you aren't in it for the long run, don't even start for the DIY Rockstar.
Yeah.
So this was motivated by a recent episode of Every Day is Saturday, but it's a topic that has been on our mind since we started in earnest with the social media thing in 2017.
Right.
So it's the idea that, you know, we know everybody wants to go viral and wants to be a sensation, and 6 months, 2 videos in, 6 months later, you know, everybody's talking about you. But the reality of the situation is just like any other quote unquote job, it takes work.
Right. But, and I think you also have to be realistic about your expectations.
Okay.
So meaning that your effort should match your expectations.
Ooh, okay.
So, you know, if it is a type of thing where it's kind of like a hobby, you know,
right.
You're not really worried about what.
Right, just put it out and just let it go. Right.
You know,
yeah.
Then that's one thing.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're kind of saying, hey, I want to make this into my business, I want to make this where I'm making blah, 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 you're going to have to put that type of work.
Or where people even know who you are. I mean, I guess that is part of it. That even if you're trying to build a brand that...
But again, when you say people know who you are, 3 people?
Right,
5 people? What do you what does that mean? You know what I mean? So what do you mean when you say that? And that goes back to that same point again.
Yeah.
Where, you know, what's your expectations?
Yeah. Because
your effort is going to need to match those expectations.
Yeah, because we were watching one of those rap star documentaries, and they were showing that even those viral rappers, that when it came time to now doing the actual job of showing up and posting and doing all the things, you know, showing up for appearances and showing up at the studio and you know, and writing new material.
I'm talking about like the little pumps and all the rest of those.
Yeah, right. That it's still work. And then you realize that, you know, you still need to be a functioning worker at your craft, whatever it is.
Yeah, and you got to be willing to keep kind of up in the ante. You know what I mean? Yeah. So meaning that even if you do have a certain amount of success, to the extent that you want the success to be sustained. And that's the thing, like sometimes you can have fluky success.
Yeah,
so,
that's
you know, maybe you're with the right group of people, you're doing the right stuff, put something out, it hits a nerve. Yeah. It kind of goes viral for you, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, especially if somebody signs you or, you know, you start having other expectations to replicate that. Yeah. That's when
God forbid
the work is going to hit.
You make a pile of money and then you start expecting to do that all the time.
Right.
Definitely.
Or usually, you know, it's because somebody's investing in you, right? You know, so, I mean, usually record companies come in and they do what they do, but that's, you know, kind of putting the cart before the horse. Because most people are not going to luck into something.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, most people, their hard work is going to, you know, what they do is going to be predicated upon hard work that went into it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, because a lot of people talk about this. You know, people feel like, you know, certain people get jobs or are in front of the camera and they feel like they didn't deserve it, you know, because they're pretty, because they network or who they knew. And I'm just saying that, you know, look. It's one of these types of things that if you kind of had to find out about the work that they did.
Yes, a lot of times we go back and end up watching some of these documentaries and we find out, oh my goodness, that she hustled harder than anybody. Or he hustled harder than anybody. He was willing to do whatever.
And maybe didn't hustle in the way that, you know, you would have thought that they should have hustled.
Right.
You know, but hustled in other things. It could have been in the networking arena. It could have been in other aspects. But, you know, usually I just really think, you know, your work, you know, your reward is going to be met. Your work is going to be met with this valid reward. Not saying that it's always like that. You know, I mean, we're human. This is, you know, shit happens. You know, it's not supposed to happen for the good or the bad. Really. I mean, you know, you never know. You know, you could be on your way to go sign a record contract and get hit by a car. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And you could be famous after you're dead, and that won't help you either.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm never going to tell you that it's completely fair.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that, the effort that you put in something, you're going to get that back.
And so I guess what this episode is intended to do is to ask yourself the question, are you ready?
Yeah.
For what it is that most people seek, which is the overnight, the fame, the fortune, all that stuff. So, or just the DIY rockstar journey, the journey that we're on. Not rich and famous, but we're on this journey, right?
And understand, too, overnight sensations usually take 5 years.
10 years.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's usually a matter of years. It's like, I'm an overnight sensation with 10 years worth of work.
Right.
Because that's what they will always say is that, an artist has like their whole life
to write that
prepare that first album,
yes.
and then you have 6 months to write the second one.
Right.
So you kind of got to keep that in your mindset that we like being sold the illusion, the perception of overnight success.
Yeah.
No one wants to be told that you got to work hard. Right. So when you get the exercise equipment, they're going to tell you you're going to lose weight in 2 weeks. Right. And if you don't, send it in, get your money back. Right. They know usually you're never going to ask for the money back because you're not going to do the 2 weeks to begin with.
And you're going to be too embarrassed or too lazy. Sorry.
Right. And then they're not going to tell you, well, if you work out, 30 minutes a day for the next 6 months, change your diet, do the rest of this kind of stuff, you'll see these type of results.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to put in that type of work to get back those results.
And so if you're not sure if that's you or not, if you're not sure that you want to be on this journey, because once you're on the journey,
once you're on the journey, you can always quit.
You can.
Right. You can always jump off this train.
Yeah, you can. But these are 3 things that you can do to test whether or not this journey is for you.
Right.
Whether this sustained journey.
Yes.
All right. So the first thing, of course, we've talked about this before, but decide your musical style, brand yourself with photos, updating your social media platforms, and consider putting out some music. That is like the first. I know it's a bunch in there, but that's like the first tier.
And can I alter that just a little bit?
Okay.
Instead of saying figure out your musical style, I would say figure out your musical voice.
Okay.
So, because
good. We talked about that.
You may not necessarily have a style that you per se adhere to.
Yeah.
You could be prog, rock, hip hop.
Yeah.
Whatever, Latin band. You know what I mean? that can be kind of what you are.
Right.
So whatever your voice is.
Yeah, I like that.
They say, hey, I'm committing to my voice.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so once you figure out your voice, brand yourself with photos, update your social media platforms, and then consider putting out some music. So that is like the first tier.
Right.
So that takes a lot of work. Those foundational things.
Yes.
If you enjoyed that process, then you're probably already well suited to continue and do more. But that is like the first tier, the first level.
And let me add this other aspect to it. Just a little bit. Just one caveat.
Okay.
That don't become a slave to these rules.
No.
So what I'm trying to say, if you feel like, hey, I don't quite got the pictures I want, I don't get the music out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Get stuff out there. Start making the move.
Okay, good.
Because a lot of times it's about getting stuff out there. But what you cannot be is you can't be completely disappointed by the lack of likes or eyes that you get on stuff.
Okay, good. All right.
You cannot, as you sit here in church all the time, right? Don't despise small beginnings.
I like that.
Because you got to start somewhere.
Okay, good. So that leads to the second level or second tier to this DIY rockstar journey, which is set goals. We've talked about that quite a lot, but at least set some goals so that you can feel on top of the world if you achieve whatever it is. So we are talking about whether it's a Spotify follower every month, whether it is 10 followers on Instagram, whatever it is for your level and for whatever your time frame that you're going to give this.
Right. One caveat I want to add to that, and that is that you need to set goals, but you also have to have a plan. So you got to have the two, as Herm Edwards said, right? Goal without a plan is a wish. Right. So you got to have a plan. So you got to have a kind of a way that you're going to get there, right?
Okay, I like that.
So that's the other aspect to it.
Okay, good. So the plan, and we're thinking of things like foundational things still, but they build on the other things that we've already talked about. So things like creating a website, starting an email list. If you missed that episode, check out that last episode. And of setting a 1 to 5 year goals. Yeah. So goals and plans.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. A way that you see yourself kind of getting
right. And that works for you because again, everybody's journey is different. For us, we spend the weekend kind of doing our creation. Right. And then all week we kind of ride that. We have day jobs. So we go to our day jobs and then the next weekend we're back into the creation mode. Right. So, yes.
You're going to New York. Your goal is to go to Los Angeles from New York.
Right.
Now the question is, what's your plan to get there?
Right.
You're taking a train, you're taking a plane, you're taking a drive, you're going to walk, you're going to run, what you going to do?
Right. Or you're going to do a combination there.
Right. Yeah. You're going to take a horse, you're going to take a dog, whatever you're going to do to get there. That's the
your
plan.
Schedule. Yes. We love it. All right, and then the final thing. So that to me is like a huge, like if it's a cake, we had that first part is that top icing. Even though it seems like it should be the bottom, the foundation, it is the top, and then the middle is that chunk. Is that creating the website, email list? That is a lot more involved and requires a lot more work. Yes. Ongoing work. Right. Whereas that other part, once you set it, you can kind of forget it. Yeah. And then finally, number 3 is celebrate that progress. So, you have to stop and say, okay, am I achieving the goals? And then how did I feel about either achieving or not achieving those goals? Because that is kind of the slog. It is that long haul. It is that, okay, I had 6 months. I said I was going to get 10 followers. I got 10. Now, how do I feel about that?
Right.
Was it worth all of that time and energy and effort that I put
you did 6 months, you got 5 followers. Whatever, so you kind of have to deal with failure along the way, and you can't get overcome by it. Yeah. Because that's the way things happen. That's the way people fall to the wayside. Yeah. Is that, they have certain expectations, they don't meet them, and then all of a sudden they give up.
They're not motivated.
Right.
And so that's why it is important to enjoy the work. That's why we were saying do it in a way that works for your lifestyle.
Right.
Where you are making progress, but it's on your own energy and your own schedule and your own expectations.
Right.
So not looking at somebody who's been doing it for 10 years and say, well, I don't have the followers they have. Well, of course you don't.
Right.
You just started.
Yeah. And don't forget, community. Because a lot of this stuff can be short-circuited by the fact that if you do have a community, especially now that the world is getting back to normal, and you can kind of get out, get around people, get around similar, like-minded people, musicians who you can kind of let hear your music, you can hear their music. And there's just all types of things that community can help.
Yeah, I can short circuit. Yeah. Because I will agree that I used to be a introvert, more of an introvert. Now I am more team and community minded, right? Because I'm always realizing that somebody else has solved a problem that is rattling around in my brain. They've already solved it. Yeah. Like our son last night told us, do you know you upload at midnight? No, you schedule to upload at midnight on YouTube and you get more views. And it's like again, aha. And it actually works. So again, I'm up here, we're up here trying to solve these problems. There's somebody who has an answer and they're not that far away usually. So.
And the thing is too, like you might go to events or whatever else and sometimes maybe they aren't fruitful. Yeah. But don't let that stop you from going to events because you never know which one might be the one. Yeah. I mean, because how many times have we been watching something and it's like, hey, I just happened to go to blah, blah, blah. Right. And I ran into this person, who, completely changed their lives. So, but you have to allow yourself, to be in that position so that the universe can bring these people into your path. A lot of times they can't do it if you're just in your basement.
I love it. All right. So again, we want you to be successful. We want you to have what it is that you seek regarding your music career. So if you're not sure if you want to make the long-term investment of time and energy, at least try a few of those things. Give yourself a time frame. Okay, so the truth is that even if you want to be a quote-unquote overnight sensation, you're going to need to put in the work. These are just some things to help start that journey for you.
Right.
What do you think about that topic, about this topic? Leave it in the comments below. And what else?
Sugar Fit. You can stream it everywhere that you stream music. You can get it from CD Baby. You can get it from Bandcamp.
Yeah.
If you want the physical CD.
And we have ringtones for all 15 songs on Sugar Fit. So make sure you check the link below. And if you dig the vibe and you want to be a part of the tribe, be sure to
subscribe.
We're wishing you love, peace, and
chicken grease.